Okay, I'm just gonna go into talk some more about this. So the way I have my I did some quick organizing of this channel. For what it's worth, I mean, it's a major clusterfuck. But so I broke it off into playlists. The event, the pre-event, the post-event, and then connections and shadows notes for kind of miscellaneous stuff regarding the event, and then the storyboard. And now the storyboard is just going to be, so all these videos are going to be in like consecutive order from when I started up until now. And I'm not really going to have any videos in the storyboard that are irrelevant to the story. So every time I do a video about the storyboard, it's going to go in the storyboard playlist, and it's going to be in chronological order from the beginning when I very first started up until now. So the most recent video will be on the bottom. So it'll when you open up the playlist, it's going to start from the very beginning of the storyboard, and then every video is going to be the next in the chronological order. So it's going to start from the very beginning. Okay. And so that storyboard is it's just going to have every storyboard video that's related. Anything that's irrelevant to the storyboard is not going in any playlist. The playlist is specifically only for the storyboard. And each section, to make it easier to navigate. So the event, the pre-event, the post-event are each separate playlists. The event is a separate playlist. The pre-event is a separate playlist. The post-event is a separate playlist. Then the connections and shadows notes is a separate playlist, which basically it represents like the red yarn that ties one thing to another, and like the miscellaneous details, and then the storyboard itself, which is just every video that I'm doing, whether it's about this bitch's her state of psychosis, or I'm driving out to the magic circle to show you the magic circle, or whatever, any and everything. It's all going in the storyboard. So now that I've done that, so I started the section of the post event. That's where I'm continuing. I'm continuing with the post event, and all I've done is put. So my most recent video is just a precursor to the post event, like notes, a precursor to the post event notes, and so the next thing in order of whatever is to start on the post event, and then and I think too, like with the post event, I'm gonna go into more detail, because I'm realizing that things that I let details that I left out. I can't be leaving details out, and part of the reason I'm leaving details out is out of sympathy for my viewer, because I don't want to bore people. See, but that is not what is important here, and I cannot do this. I cannot compromise this story in order to entertain my 3 subscribers. And so when I do the post event, I'm going to be being very thorough. And you know, I mean, it's going to just be going into things that may seem trivial. I don't know. But to me, it doesn't matter. That's not what's important. And then another playlist I'm probably going to have to do is I don't know what to call it yet. Maybe filling in the gaps. I might do well. No, I'm gonna end up having to do another playlist. Basically, the purpose is filling in the gaps. So any details that I did leave out of the event are going to go into the filling in the gaps playlist. Any details that I left out of the event, the pre-event or the post-event, I'm going to have to put in the filling in the gaps playlist. And you know, it probably won't be a lot of videos in there, but I know there's a section of details that I left out of the event itself. And so I'm going to have to be doing that, which is going to be a bitch because it's going to make it more difficult to navigate. But, fuck, man, I got to go get something to eat. But, honestly, in a way, I feel kind of bad for viewers because especially now that I'm getting into the post event, once I start getting into the post event, it's just going to be a fine comb, detailed, long detailed thing. And yeah. And I just got to keep plugging away at the storyboard. It might not take as long as I'm thinking, because I'm actually making pretty decent progress. And so now that I'm making pretty decent progress, eventually I'm going to start thinking about then taking it to the next level, where taking the storyboard and analyzing it to try to figure out the final product, like the final, where here is the story. Like, fuck the storyboard. Now that I've done all this shit, now I can just throw this fucking whole storyboard away and present the final product of here's the story, because I think it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good, man. It is. It's gonna be good. And then once I get the story where I can present the story, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I have a friend who does movies. He's got like 5 movies on Tubi, and he does mostly horror movies. And I'm gonna solicit it to him. And I don't want no credit. And he doesn't make money off of his films, but his films, or if he does it, I don't know. It's none of my business. I don't care. I just want somebody to do this film. I don't want my name on it. I don't want it attached to me. Now, you guys, if the film ever does come out, I will tell you guys, like, dude, this is the movie about my story. I'll totally tell you guys, but my name won't be on it. I won't be attached to it at all, you know. Although I might end up acting in it, it's very possible that I might end up playing myself in the fucking movie, which would be super funny, dude. Super funny, bro. And what would even be more hilarious is if my fucking ex-girlfriend ended up seeing it. I might even try to figure out how to get it to her, you know, underhandedly, like get the movie brought to her attention, and then she watches. It'll be so funny, dude. It'll be fucking hilarious, bro. But so those are more long-term goals. But I will say, I feel like the storyboard is making pretty decent progress. It hasn't gone as well as I'd like it to, but it's doing okay. And And you know, so I'm gonna have to buckle down and do the post event, and you know, to get all this out. I think I've gone as deep as I'm gonna go in like the Todd Mahdi, you know, connection, and like the, you know, the state of psychosis connection with her. I've gone really deep into that stuff with those shadows, the shadow with the shadow commentary. I gone pretty deep into her psychosis, like the state of her, which is all real, dude. That is not. I'm not bullshitting. That is just the way it is. That's just what happened. I'm sure this stuff is a lot more common. And actually, that's one of the reasons why I want to do the story. I believe this shit is happening to a lot of people, and that this is a phenomenon that's been growing in the last handful of years. And the trajectory is it's going to continue to. These stories like mine are going to continue to be more common. Maybe by doing this, we'll inspire other people to tell their stories. You know, but it is a lot of work. Like, look at all the time I'm putting into. I've got like 240 fucking videos or something like that. And the majority of them are the storyboard or somehow loosely tied to it, you know. Anyway, yeah, so that's enough.